Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Got Next Gaming and some Madden 17 coverage with a franchise rebuild. So, this is a continuation of the New York Giants rebuild. They fired me, as you saw in the last Giants video, and some of you have asked that I continue this with the San Francisco 49ers. That's who I went along with. So, as you can see here, we are simming through the 2020 season, as I just kind of ran right through it and said, let me sim the season and I will take over at the next level. And we're going to go see how they did in that just straight sim season with me doing nothing for the team, no draft, no free agency, no nothing. They did it on their own. And you can see there's 6-9-1. Yes, there was a tie in there somewhere. And I guess it was against the Cardinals in their own division in the NFC West. So not looking too hot here are the San Francisco 49ers, but I will tell you this, folks, they have a ton of cap space. So we have a lot of room to work with to do some work here. We can really try to build something solid here with all the cap space that we have. Let's take a look at what the team looks like right now as it stands. We can see we have Matty Ice. Matt Ryan is the quarterback. They must have went and got him somewhere along the way. And then not much around him in the way of talent except for maybe Jean Gillies over there at wide receiver, and that's really it. There's not much more here. The offensive line looks like a mess. The tight end looks decent. The running backs are decent, but nothing to write home about there. And then the defense is not much better. We have some talent on the defensive line in Armstead and Lynch. We also have a pretty good linebacker in Rayshon Gooden, but yeah, decent free safety in Reed, but nothing in like cornerbacks or strong safety or even linebackers other than that. So Stephon Anthony's a decent linebacker, serviceable, but not what we really want to do here. I thought Navarro Bowman was on this team, and I'm not seeing him here, so I'm not sure what was up with that. But we take a look around and see Rayshon Gooden. He was actually injured and out for 17 more weeks, so he'll be gone for most of the offseason as we try to rebuild this team to get them back to where they belong. Oh, there's also Orlando Scandrick on the team as well. He was injured too. We saw him over there. He's a 79. So here's Goskowski. He's the kicker. And then, yeah, I don't know who the punter is. Never heard of him. But he's an 82. I guess we'll keep him, and we'll see what we can do with that. So we definitely have to do some work, and maybe we can do that through the draft. We do have the number 10 pick overall. So we'll take a look at maybe rebuilding that offensive line to start with a decent wide receiver and some decent running backs and a pretty solid quarterback. I would say that maybe that's where we want to kind of focus our attention for the offensive side of the ball. That might be the best bet for us here going forward. So we're going to definitely put in some scouting points into offensive linemen here in the draft. And we're going to take a look and see what the Giants did in that sim season without me. They went 4-10 and 2 ties. So, yeah, they had some struggles as well. Take a look at our stats. We see 4,100 yards there for Matty Ice, 1,000 yards rushing for R.J. Horton, and that looks pretty decent. And then we'll take a look at the receiving core. Tight end Blake Berlin, 75 catches. DeAnthony Thomas, 72 catches. Jermaine Kearse, 49, and Jean Gillies had 48. I don't know if they played full seasons. I did not really take a look at it, but definitely something we can work with here, as it didn't look too bad. And then we had this Nigel Bradham, who had 111 tackles, and then Tardo had 97. Lynch, who had 90. Lynch led the team with sacks, 11, and then Armstead with 8. And then we'll take a look at interceptions as well. And the interception lead was Scandrick, Orlando Scandrick, who had 3 and has 13 years of experience here for this team. And we're going to see how we're going to continue to build around the pieces that we have. Some older pieces here, stuff we need to work with. There's Navarro Bowman as well. He was on the team, but he must have been injured. And yeah, Navarro Bowman to retire. He did suffer a career-ending injury, as you can see right there on the screen. So that is something that we're not going to be thrilled with to work with there. But we're definitely have some free agency stuff here. Some of our guys are free agents, and we're going to have to go ahead and sign them. And Jean Gillies is definitely somebody we need to lock up. 85 overall as a wide receiver, and he's only 26. And he has some really solid numbers. So we're going to go ahead and make him an offer, and hopefully he's going to be happy with it as we try to tackle this a little bit, and it's going to be a little bit under, and he says, nope, I'm going to go test free agency, so he kind of screwed that up, but that's okay. We're just going to slap the franchise tag on him anyway and hold on to him for another year, and we'll see what he does for this team. Maybe we can even trade him away for a piece that'll fit us better. And then we have some offensive linemen. He's a 79, nothing crazy right home about, but 26 years old. Maybe we definitely want to give him an interest, and he is not interested. So yeah, we got some work to do here. We're definitely getting our butts kicked here. And here's this one. So DeAnthony Thomas was happy to sign with us. That's a good sign. And we're going to go after Julius Heron. He's a 74. We're definitely going to need that cornerback depth as well, and he will take the deal too. So we see there's Rayshon Gooden with a torn pectoral as he has 12 weeks left to go before he jumps in with us. And now we're going to have to take a look at some free agents. But first, let's take a look at the roster as it stacks out. So we have Matt Ryan. He's 36. Don't know how much longer we can play with him. And then we have R.J. Horton, who's an 81 now after some upgrades there, after we upgraded everybody. And then Isaiah Crowell. And then we have Gillies in 85. Curse is a 76. And DeAnthony Thomas is a 75. And the wide receiving core is not looking terrible. Something we could definitely work with here. And there's definitely some speed out there as well. As you see, Lincoln Epps is a 92. Pretty good there. And Blake Berlin, an 84. And then we're just going to kind of run through the offensive line as it now looks terrible. 69, a 73, 75 for our center. And let's see, right guard is a 79. And I think he actually leaves. And he's 69 as well. And then we have our defensive lineman, 83 for Armstead. And then Aaron Lynch is a 91. So in the middle of the defensive line, we have an 81 and then a 67. We'll have to put some depth in there. Stephon Anthony, decent linebacker. Definitely could be an upgrade there, as he's only a 76 and he's 29 years old, so he's getting up there in age. There's Rayshon Gooden. He's an 81 and he's 24. So there's definitely upside for him. And then on the right side, we have Trent Murphy and Metcalf there, 76 and 74. They're both a little older range there, but we have no defensive backs. Waddell is our best cornerback. Reed is our best safety. We have Tarrant here, who's a 76 overall, followed by Dwight Reese, who's a 76 as well. So definitely some work here to do on the defense for this team. But we do have the 10th pick overall, so it's not terrible. We can get some value there. And then we pick 42 in the second round and 74 in the third, which are going to be our most important picks, I believe, if that's the way we're going to continue. So here we take a look at some of the news, and there was a lot of interesting stuff in here. Navarro Bowman did retire, truly did suffer a career-ending injury, which is terrible for us. And then there we see that the wide receiver, Jean Gillies, has turned down the 49ers contract extension and will no longer sign with the team. But we franchise tagged him, so no big deal there. We still have him, absolutely. And taking a look at some more stories moving forward here, we're going to see that, let's see, King of the Skies, Parker, Karimi locks down opposition and college all-star game MVP going into the draft. That looks pretty good there. And then Lindsey Guyton, Damian Shelby is a big name out there, as well as the quarterback from Miami, Denton Purdom, has some durability issues, and that's going to make his draft stock fall for him. So got to keep an eye on a couple of these guys here, as we don't want to make a bad pick going into the draft for sure. But let's take a look at some of the other stories too. Eli Manning was on the Jets and he's walking away, as well as Darrelle Revis, who is retiring too. And let's see what else is up here that's interesting. Is going to be not much happening that seems really interesting or really like out there. For the most part, looks like it's all normal stuff. Nothing crazy at all that's going to kind of affect us going forward here. Let's see. Eagles cut Ben Heaney, and the Dolphins free up some cap room by cutting somebody. I forget the name there. But let's go ahead and jump into free agents. So big name right on top of the board there is Cam Newton, but we have a quarterback and we're happy with him. And Cam Newton's 32 now in this rendition of things. He's getting up there in age. And there's Keenan Allen. That's also tempting as well, a 90 overall wide receiver. And then there's Slay, who's 89 overall as a cornerback. And that would be a huge upgrade over what we have currently in Waddle and Haran. I mean, we might want to take a look at making him an offer. And then looking down the list here, we do need to see about some offensive linemen. There's Lester. He's 26 and he's an 87 overall. That would be a great pickup for us as well. But let's go ahead and put some money into Lester first, because we do want to work on the offensive line. I think I said that this is probably my biggest priority here, as it's the weakest portion of this team. We have plenty of cap room around somewhere around like I believe it's like 45 million or something like that. As we can see here, we're going to make the offer for Lester for 4 years, and it's going to put us in last place in the bidding for him. And then here's Darius Slay. We're going to make an offer for him as well, as he is the best cornerback on the board and would be a gigantic upgrade for us over what we have currently. We're going to offer him 3 years and kind of bump up the salary a little bit here, hoping to get into the sweepstakes for him here and make a play for it. We're gonna go all in on a couple of these guys here as much as we can to see if we can get anything out of it. And here we're way behind the Redskins of 115 points towards it there. But we're gonna put in some money for David DeCastro, who's an 84, and he's 31 years old, a little bit on the older side. We're gonna offer him a 2-year contract, and there's nobody else on the board for him, so that might work out in our favor, and that'll be a huge upgrade. Here's Vontae Davis. He's 33, cornerback, but he is definitely an upgrade over what we have, and we'll have to take the 1-year flyer on him. And there's nobody else making a bid for him either, so hopefully he doesn't get injured and he lasts for us. And here is Veld here, who is 34 years old, and he's up there at around an 80, so that's going to be pretty good for us too. We could see that Veld here accepts the contract for us. Lester does not. He declines the offer, so we lose out on him. He was kind of like a backup plan, was getting the other guy. And then here we have DeCastro, who does accept our offer, so again, another upgrade there on the offensive line for us. Slay rejected our offer, and we kind of figured that because we were way out of the sweepstakes for him in the range that he was looking for as far as, I guess, money goes or what was being offered to him. And then our backup plan was Vontae Davis, and that worked out for us. Again, a little on the older side and probably injury prone, but we'll take a chance on him, and hopefully he can be something big for us. We're also going to take a flyer out here on Joe Hayden. We're going to offer him a 2-year contract to see if he'll sign with us as well. 79 will definitely be a bump over what we have. And like I said, we'd like to make some moves here. So 32 years old, we're going older on the cornerbacks, but this is kind of like a 1-year deal until we can get somebody developed or somebody a little bit better. And we're going to make an offer to Sanders as well, Emmanuel Sanders, who's an 83 out there. We're going to see what sticks for us. And Hayden definitely does not work out. He declines the offer. So no Joe Hayden there. Somebody went in and made a better offer. But Emmanuel Sanders did accept our offer, and now we have an 83 overall or 85-year-old who's 34 years old. But again, 1-year deals, 2-year deals here to kind of get this team into a competitive mode, possibly to see if we can maybe turn things around a little bit for this team, as we do have some good pieces here and there. We just kind of have to bolster them around us, and that's what we're trying to do here with that. So we take a look at the team now and see how they stack out. And that offensive line looks much better than it did, that's for sure. And we have Matt Ryan there in the middle, along with Jean Gillies and Sanders now on the outside, and then the tight end who's gotten a boost to 84 overall. As we take a look here, we can see that Vontae Davis was the only defensive upgrade we've had so far, but it is a big upgrade nonetheless, as we definitely needed some help here with that. So taking a look around, I'd like to see if we could do something with the linebackers. Maybe we can go and draft somebody that can kind of play for us right away. We know that Gooden will be coming back soon, and he's definitely on the plus side for us as well. And I think we're going to make a move and maybe move Heron over to safety possibly and make him a strong safety possibly. I mean, that's an idea there because he's an 80 in the safety spot. He's only a 74 as a cornerback. So maybe making a move for him might be a good deal. Some more free agency moves here, as we're going to go pick up a right tackle now who's a 73. And that'll be an upgrade over the 69 that we currently have in that spot. And again, any little bumps that we can do, we'll take these upgrades and we're going to kind of work with it. We have a lot of cap space, so we're going to take advantage of that and try to build a decent team here to go forward with. So let's advance a little bit more here. We do pick up Kittner, and we also pick up Ian Williams, the defensive tackle, to kind of give us a little bit of depth there in the defensive tackle positions at 74. It's an upgrade over the 64 that was that's behind him now. So we'll take a look at our free agent signings here and see how we did overall, what the kind of breakdown is there for us. So we see DeCastro, Sanders, Davis, Veld here, Williams, and Kittner. as we did make some upgrades, and they were all upgrades for sure to this team that can hopefully compete a little bit better than a 6-9, 6-9-1. That is, they did have that one tie in there as well. So now we're gonna go ahead and jump into the draft, and we're gonna see what we can make out of this draft 2021. It's 2021, and we're gonna jump into this draft. And Cleveland's got the first pick overall, and it seems like they always have the first pick overall. So they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna make their pick, and I'm gonna spoil it a little bit here as we wait for them to make their pick. They're gonna go and get the best guy on the board out there, and it's gonna be that linebacker Shelby that we talked about, and that's kind of saw that one coming as he was being talked about a lot there in the little news clips here and there. But now it's time for San Francisco to make their first round pick, number 10 overall. We take a look at the board, and we have two good picks right away. We can go with Fountain, the left outside linebacker. We can go with a wide receiver and Leach. I'm kind of happy with the wide receiver spot right now, and it is tempting to do so, but not what I think I want to do right here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pick Fountain here. We're going to see that pick come through in a second, and there it is. And it says we reached, he's ranked number 27, and we picked him at 10 overall. I don't think we kind of would have made a difference, no matter who we picked, would have made a difference if you ask me. But one of the interesting there is if you didn't notice that Karimi kid was up there as well. He was number 6 overall, and we're gonna go ahead into our second pick here. He was projected as the number 6 guy there, but we're gonna take a look at this here. He's dropped all the way down the board, and he's still up there, and he's available. He's a first round pick, and I took a look around to see some of the other players that we needed, some kind of need positions, but it was super tempting to have Parker Karimi here, who we heard about in that news, and we went and drafted him, and it says I reached as he was ranked 74 in true talent, and we drafted him at 42, but his numbers look pretty decent, and he's got superstar development, and I'm surprised that he dropped all the way down into the second round. Not sure what happened there. Maybe I should have went back and checked some of the other news as well for it, but it is what it is. We'll have to see how that works out for us, as he's only a 69 overall to start things off. Maybe we can develop him into something else. He's definitely not going to start though. So with our third round pick, we're going to probably take a look here at some offensive line and get some depth here, some players that we can work with later on. And he is a 71 overall. True talent is a 91, and we pick him at 74. So again, we're reaching, but again, some decent numbers here, pass block and stuff like that, strength wise and speed and acceleration. Looks like a pretty solid player as we take a look at some of his secondary attributes as well, and impact blocking. Pretty decent numbers here, and I like this pick at number 3. I think it's a pretty good pick, and he can develop into something for the future for us. So we'll take a look at our draft as we let it sim the rest of the way, and we can see that we have a